Alright guys, welcome back to Tech Tanks. It's been a while since I've done a video. Wanted to go ahead and make sure we got a new one in here. So this video, decided to do this because I really like this box from Hack the Box. I was recently going through and just doing some simple ones for fun, and I realized that this one has a little bit of opportunity for some enumeration with like FTP, utilizing Telnet, and also, of course, system hacking and privilege escalation is one of the topics that always occurs on Hack the Box. Um, so I wanted to take time to kind of touch base on all of these, give it a quick explanation. This box, like I said, is really simple, but it's a good one to get your feet wet with. So if you're not well versed in any kind of hacking methodologies or anything like that, this would be a good one to kind of follow along with and get an idea of how it all works. Um, so this box is called Access. So if you want to go ahead and launch that real quick, you can follow along. Um, Otherwise, this will just be a good opportunity for you to kind of see how things work. And we're going to get some more console windows running here in a moment. All right, so first thing I did, of course, run the Nmap scan ahead of time because these can take a while. Um, and we're going to kind of go over a little bit more with Nmap in another video. But on this box, we have port 80, 23, 21. This is running a Windows system, so always good to know. Anyway, so first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and check out port 80. Let's see. Let's see. This is 10, 10, 10, 98. Cool. A picture. Now we could always, do some brute forcing with the directories, run some Go Buster, something like that. Um, but anytime you see this, port 21, anonymous, you got to go that route. You got to check out um, what's in the FTP port and what's available there. So I'm going to go ahead and I like to keep things organized. So I'm going to just make a FTP directory. Maybe. Man. All right. There we go. So I'm going to just FTP right in there. Now, one thing that I did want to just point out here real quick, with the anonymous login, if I leave it as cipher and I hit enter, login is failed. Okay, so when it says anonymous, it really does mean anonymous. No password, I'm in. Okay, so we have two directories here. We have backups and engineer. Anytime you see the word backups, it's always a good sign. Then we have a MDB file called backup. Now, anytime I transfer a file like this, if you're not familiar with FTP, you have the option to change how it transfers data. And binary, anytime you're doing an executable, I mean, usually my rule of thumb is anything that's not like HTML, FTP, or I'm sorry, TXT, doc. If it's not a text, doc, HTML file, I like to just throw it in binary. But anyway, so I throw it in there, and then I'm going to get backup.mdb. Okay, it's going to take a moment to transfer. It's a pretty big file. You can see right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and get another console ready for us here. Blow up the text a little bit so you guys see it easier. There we go. And I will go to access. We'll just leave it there actually. Alright, and then looks like that's the only thing here, so I'm going to go back to the beginning here and go get the engineer, see what's going on there, and access control.zip. Should grab that. Now the reason why this one's in quotations, in case you're not aware, when you have a space in the name, especially with Windows, I mean any system, it's the same with Linux. You need to basically encompassing in quotations of some kind, so that way it knows that this is all one thing. So I'm not asking it to get access, I'm asking it to get access space control.zip. So we'll go ahead and pull that one. And it looks like that was everything that was here. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just exit out of that. And we are now looking at these two things here. So, okay. So, you can of course unzip a file from the command line, but sometimes I like to have, whoops, a waste of time and just, go through this again and again. This is always fun. I like to have this pulled up just in case, every once in a while, such as with this one. You're going to do unzip access control, and gives you this kind of answer. So I'm going to just go here. Let's just try to extract. Yeah, let's extract here. Why not? Ah, password. Well, we don't have a password, so we're going to go ahead and just put that to the side here. Let's take a look at our MDB file here. So MDB, for those who don't know, it is a database file. Okay, so there's different tools you can use. I personally like just having the MDB tools on my system, so I can just do MDB SQL, and you can get you can run the -h, kind of get a little bit of information, but really it's pretty easy to use unless there's a specific scenario. Just MDB SQL, backup, done, and I'm in. So we can do list tables. That is a lot. Obviously what we want to look for is where it says like user, admin, things like that. Like numrun, probably not going to be something we're looking for. Departments might be interesting. Department admin could be good. Auth permission, auth user. So we'll just start here. Usually that's a good sign. So I don't like to just do a wildcard select statement. You could really kind of blow up your screen with all that data, a little bit of overload there. So I usually like to describe the table, just kind of see what's there. I mean, this table looks like 7 columns. I don't want to try to fit that across my screen. And for the most part, let's be real here. This is what we're interested in, username and password. So let's try to keep it simple. Select username, password from auth table. Why did I do auth table? That was stupid, I'm sorry. Select username, password from auth user. There we go. Alright, and we have admin, backup admin, engineer, and access for you at security. Okay. So we have a few options on the route that we go next. If you recall our Nmap Scan, we also have Telnet port open, port 23. We haven't really looked any further on our web page. So we have kind of a few routes where we could go with this. Now and then of course we have a password protected zip file as well. So we're going to want to make note of these. So we're going to just make this easy. I'm going to just copy it. So that way we have that. We can come back to this if we need it. Okay, so I'm going to just do vim. We'll just call this mdb pass. Paste this in here. Close it out. Cool. Got that. Okay, so like I said, we have some options. You know what? I'm actually gonna probably should have named it something easier. There we go. Let's go back into this. extract this. So we have 2 passwords to try. And the reason why I say 2 is 2 of them are the same thing. So admin's always a good one, right? Wrong password. Although, did it send something out? No, okay. Threw me off for a second, but yeah, it's just empty, so let's just go ahead and... But we know we're getting a PST file, so that'll be fun, right? PST files are always good. Alright, so let's try this. Oh, really? We're going to be like that now? Just get rid of this. We know it's garbage. Alright. Although I shouldn't move trash. I never move anything trash. Alright. Let's see if we can do this again. There we go. The other password was big. So access for you at security. Okay. So no applications for that kind of item, so that's okay. What we want to do is extract it, because there is a way to open that. So we'll get rid of that. Okay. So we have access control PST. Now, for those of you who don't know what a PST file is, personal storage tables in open arbitrary file format used to store copies of messages, calendar events within Microsoft software, such as Exchange Client, blah, 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 blah. There are tools available on Windows that allow you to read these files. And you're going to love it. It's simple. Read PST. Yep. Sorry. Wish I had something better for you. Some cool name. But I don't. Just do that. Boom. And you can see right here it gave us a mbox file. So we can just go ahead and cat that. So blah, 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 blah. A lot of junk here. What we care about, this is the message itself. Like it's in here. Hi there. Okay, all the way down here. Blah, 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 blah. The password for the security account has been changed to 4cc 3ss blah, 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 blah. So we have another set of passwords. Or I guess we have a password and a username. Okay, so we have security and basically access controller with the substitution of numbers for letters. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. And at this rate, we have Telnet. Let's see what's let's see what's over there. And we can always try to go back into the FTP with credentials. We have options here, people. But we're going to start with Telnet. And as you guys probably know, I've done this box before, so I'm taking you the right way, I promise. But so far, guys, we were able to enumerate FTP because it did give us anonymous access into the server. We pulled a couple of files. So far, these files have been extremely useful. Security, and then password. And as you can see, with the Telnet, we were able to get in. As far as for anonymous access to file transfer protocol servers, FTP servers, you'd be surprised how often, it's really easy to get into those kinds of servers, and people have, important files on there, or backup files. A lot of different options are as far as for what you can get from those sorts of things. So this is a legitimate issue that does occur, guys. So we're now in here as the security, and we go to the desktop. That's where you will find your user text. Okay, when you're on a Windows system, you always, when you're doing it with Hack the Box, I'm pretty positive, I can't think of a time where it hasn't been in the desktop. So yeah, go there. Now, as far as for escalating privileges, there are a lot of options on what you can do here. But a question that I've gotten asked quite a bit is, how do you get files onto the Windows system if they don't have like wget, which this one doesn't. Might have curl. Nope, doesn't have curl. So a lot of people feel, or I don't want to say a lot of people. I've been asked quite a few times, how do you get files over to a Windows system if you don't have curl, if you don't have wget? A lot of people get very comfortable with Linux and they kind of forget to work on their Windows skills. And honestly, my favorite way to do it, it's pretty effective, works most of the time, is just running an SMB on your system. Okay, and I'm not saying like a permanent one. Impacket has a Python script that temporarily sets up your system as a SMB server, and then you can just use the netuse command on Windows to be able to transfer files. And as far as for files that are useful for this sort of thing, we have a few options, and I'll actually show you a couple of them real quick. If I go into my scripts file, or directory, sorry, let's use proper terms here. You have privilege scripts, and there's your Impacket. I had another one on here. Maybe it's on a different computer. I have a couple of copies of the Linux system. But with priv scripts, you have the WinPEAS, privilege escalation, LinPEAS. This is for Linux, this is for Windows. These are awesome programs. I love using them. Total shout out to the person who wrote them. But then you also have the it for Metasploit, but there's a Python script, I'm pretty sure it's Python, where it will also do like Windows privilege escalation enumeration. And all you got to do is give it the system info, which you can just do like system info, and then copy this information, paste it into a file. And this should honestly be one of the first things you check anyway, because this part is critical, along with a lot of other information. But this system is a hot fix to an extreme. Okay, and if you don't know what hotfixes are, this is where these are where your patches are. If there's an exploit found or something like that, a vulnerability found, something along those lines. A hotfix is basically a repair to it. A fix, a solution, a patch, a preventative step. Okay, but also, of course, here you're going to find, are you running 64-bit, 32-bit? Naturally, it's pretty important to know what our system is. We've got a Windows server here, build 7600, and it takes this information and it runs it like what you'd find on Metasploit, and it makes it to where you can get some just automated, here's some potential vulnerabilities that you could take advantage of to escalate your privileges. So this should be the first thing that you always check. Okay, what kind of system am I running? What did I get access to? What's here? After you do that, the next thing that on a Windows system that you should be checking is if there's any saved credentials. Okay, and I'll show you that in a moment. If you're on a Linux system, the second thing you check after finding out your operating system and all that details is sudo privileges. Okay, so there are some steps that it's like you should be have a little bit of a checklist where it's like, okay, I need to go through this. So I'm going to just, the way you check sign in or save credentials is it's cmd key list. Okay, and you can specify a username if you want, or if you leave like this, it will list all saved credentials if there are any. In this case, the golden administrator. Okay, obviously this is what we're looking for, so we're going to go ahead and what's really cool about this is because you have saved credentials, you can take advantage of the run as command. Think of run as being similar to sudo or sudo. Sorry, sudo. You can run this to run something as the administrator. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to get a file over here, or you can even execute it straight up, from the SMB. You don't necessarily actually have to move it over to your system. You can, optional. And so let's go ahead and we need to get this set up. So I'm going to cd back into the hack the box access. Right, that's the one we're done. Pretty sure that's the one we're done. That's the one we're done. and then I'm going to make a directory, and I'm going to just call it SMB, and I'm going to go into it. Now there's a few options here as far as for how you can get your shell as the administrator. I mean, I don't see why, you know, we got to make a big show of all these cool little scripts or things like that. Just run a, you know, MSF Venom, get an exe file, boom, you know, Bob's your uncle. So I'm gonna go ahead and do MSF Venom, Windows, and remember, guys, this is to prepare you for the CEH. Okay, so if anybody comes back with, you know, well, you know, Metasploit, that's for script kiddies and blah, 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 guys, that's CEH. CEH in a nutshell, it is pushing Metasploit on everything. When I read through both version 10 and version 11, it was pretty funny. To enumerate FTP, use Metasploit. I mean, their answer to everything is Metasploit. I don't want to do that for FTP. I'd rather do it personally myself. But for this, again, we're prepping for the CEH with these videos, so there you go. You're going to want to, you know, take advantage of the tools that they're talking about. So we're going to do lhost, lport. We'll just put it at 444 because I think that's the default port that Metasploit uses. Pretty positive. So we're going to do exe shell.exe. Oh, are you serious? It's MSF Venom. Sorry. And yes, I know I could have just hit the home key, but I'm punishing myself for screwing that up. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically run, we're going to use the run as command. We're going to run as the administrator, and we're going to probably just use PowerShell because it works. It usually works better with PowerShell. Error, invalid payload. What did I do? Reverses. Oh, Jesus. All right, guys. Time to close up shop. Aha. Reverse TCP. All right. Nope, still not gonna work. That's right the first time. Or third time. I don't know. There you go. Sorry, guys. I know. A lot of typos. It happens. All right. There we go. We got it. All right. So what we're going to do here, it's going to look pretty complicated when I show you the help screen, but it's pretty darn simple, I promise. You can make it complicated if you want, but it doesn't have to be. So we're going to host an SMB server on our Kali system, and then on our shell that we have on the Windows system, we're going to connect over to that as the administrator, and we're going to run the shell.exe. So we're actually going to need a third console window here. And yes, I will make this bigger. There we go. So we're going to need that. But we got a few things to set up here as a whole. So we need to set up our listener here. We need to set up our SMB server here. And then we need to actually do a few things. We need to basically map the SMB server, which it's really easy. We're just going to assign it a drive letter, and then we're good to go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just come over here, use multi-handler, set payload, and then we're just, that first part that we put into the MSF Venom, that's what we're putting in here. So Windows x64 interpreter reverse TCP, boom, set the L host, and then L port set to 4444, so we're good. All right, cool. Yeah, we're good. All right, then we're going to come over here, and this is a Python 3 script. And then you can download Impacket from GitHub. So I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it. And then you go to examples, SMB, server. All right, and then we're going to just do the H flag, so you can see this here. So all you got to do, I don't know why this looks nicer than normal. I don't know. Anyway, all you got to do is Python 3. Actually, no, hold on. Let's make this easy. So we're going to just do Python 3. We don't need a comment, a username, a password, hashes. We don't need any of that. We just need the share name and the path. So I'm going to call this share name haha, because Why not? And then the path, we're just going to host it right here. That's why I made this directory, right? Boom. Permission. I'm sorry. What I forgot to mention is you need to run this as sudo. And I forgot to mention it because I forgot. All right. Boom. There we go. Now we're all set on this. Okay. Now on here, round 3, guys. Let's see if we can do this one without a mistake. I'm going to do net use, and then you can assign it any letter that's not currently being used. Okay, so I'm going to assign it to Z drive because I want to. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Is it 4 or 2? I always forget. One of them's 2, one of them's 4 with how I typically connect. We're going to do 2. I think it's 2. Pretty sure it's 2. All right, so we're going to do 10, 10. You're going to do your IP address, okay? And then that one. And as far as for those of you confused on what I'm talking about with the 4, it's the when you use SMB client, there's a couple ways you do it. If you do the backslashes, you do 4 backslashes, the host, 2 backslashes, and then the share. If you do forward slashes, I believe you only need to do the 2 and the 1. But anywhooser, it's neither here nor there, I guess. And then we're calling this the haha, right? That's what I named it here. Where did I put it? Somewhere over here. Ah, right here. Okay. So we're just doing that. That's it. Boom. The command completed successfully. We have connection, people. Now, by doing this, what's really cool, because then a lot of people are saying, oh, well, okay, then I'll just, change directory right into the Z drive. Boom. Yep. Notice it also didn't stay. Okay. There's another way to do this, though. Don't worry. So I'm going to just simply execute it from the SMB. So I'm going to go ahead and totally botch up that. Okay. We're going to just run. Okay. And then what you're going to do is 1, 2. Put in your IP address. Okay. You can tell I'm getting too used to typing in the IP addresses of Hack the Box. All right. This, and then we're going to do haha. And then remember, we called it shell.exe. Okay. So what we're basically telling it is access our SMB share, the haha directory, which is the share directory itself, and then this. And then it's actually going to execute it. Well, actually, that's what it's supposed to do, right? Remember, we're missing a step. That's okay, though. So when I run this, and this is part of the reason why we're going to run it on PowerShell. It's going to connect, but this is blocked. Okay? But you can see here, we connected. We accessed it. We tried running it, but the group policy blocks it. Okay? So we're going to do a few things here. So the first step is we're going to run as. Okay? We're going to be running as the user in the access domain administrator. Okay? So that's step 1. Step 2, the credentials. Like we need the credentials, right? Save cred. Oh yeah, that is correct, guys. That's all we need there. PowerShell. Okay, so we're going to be running a PowerShell, and then we're going to tell it to just go ahead and connect to the SMB share at the haha, and then we're going to run shell.exe. We are done. Okay. Now, this will run on its own little screen, so you're not going to see us get into the PowerShell here, but that's okay because we don't care where it runs it. We want over here. Give it a moment. Please hold. Call is very important to us. Ba-bam. Okay, interpreter. And then I wanted to show you something else, and this is something that you can do with when you have the when you're running on a Windows system and you have the right credentials. Hash dump. I love this one. Look at what we got here, guys. This is the SAM file. Okay. Don't forget that. It's important to know. I'm sure for an upcoming exam at some point. But we're going to do shell. Who am I? And I am the administrator. Okay. So then we can go to the C drive, and then go to the users. Users. Go into the administrator. Go into it. And yes, I know we could have done this all in one awesome change directory command, but we're not. There's your root text. Okay. So basically, guys, we enumerated the FTP because we had anonymous access. From that, we transferred over a database file and a zip file, which we found ended up controlling a PS or having a PST file inside of there. We were able to get access to that PST file by finding the password in the database that was stored. From there, we used the read PST and we were able to get the password and username. For the security group, you use Telnet to get in, and then of course for our privilege escalation to the administrator, we simply use the saved credentials on the system, use the run as command, and utilize PowerShell to kind of bypass the group policy and all that fun stuff with administrator privileges and all that. But yeah, guys, that's how it's done. Now, real quick, well, no, actually, that's everything. There's everything, guys. We had some fun here, right? So I will try to make more videos, guys. Work has been a little busy lately. Lots of stuff going on. So I'll try to make another video within the next week. I do want to cover the other enumerations that need to be gone over, specifically SMB. I want to give you guys a huge crash course on that one. I'm not going to be able to get everything, guys. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you've looked at the blueprint, the version 4. It's brutal. There's a lot on there. So some of it you're going to have to do on your own, guys, but I'll try to cover at least most of it for you. And then we'll move on. But there you go, guys. Have a great evening, morning, whatever time zone you're in. I'll see you guys in the next video.